welcome into the Audible as we are glad to have you along once again. And we're talking about what happened over the weekend and weekend recap show. This is Brad Caldwell. If you don't know me by now, Justin Smith right here.
Hi, everybody.
He's pushing the buttons, and we're getting ready to talk about, well, what happened last weekend, but really kind of a look into the playoffs as well, along with what happened with the Razorbacks this weekend. And Justin, there's a lot of, I say a lot, there is a really hot coaching rumor out there right now. It seems to be picking up steam that we want to talk about a little bit right here on the Audible. So, we're going to talk about all that and hopefully get that in a time that your butt can absorb.
Yep, before we got to go get kids from
There
school.
you
That's
go.
the goal.
There you go. So, and if you want to talk about something, put it in the chat. Let us know. I think we're a little bit behind today, and hopefully you'll join in with us though.
I had a long weekend, so I'm just glad to be back in town. It was a great weekend, though. Hope some of you deer hunters out there got you one on opening weekend on Modern Gun. And it was nice and cold on Sunday and Monday. Let me tell you, it was wonderful.
Yes,
T-
sir. Yes, sir. It was.
we will crank it off like always with the 2A. No changes in the rankings. Everybody just took care of business.
Well, we do have one change in the
Oh wait,
rankings. Earl
You-
is not
oh
in there anymore, and of course that has a lot to do with the incident that has happened with them, and the fact that they are no longer in it because they lost eligibility. They didn't forfeit all their games.
nope, two. What?
It was,
Yeah, I think it was
but
two.
it was enough to keep them out of the playoffs.
Yep.
So anyway, Earl is now out of the playoffs, which affected the 2A2, moving Desark up to the 3 seed by virtue of their victory over McCrory, and McCrory jumps in there as well. A team that would not have made the playoffs otherwise. So now McCrory gets a chance to go to Mount Ida, and Desark gets a chance to go to Hector, and that's going to be an interesting matchup for
Yeah, it
sure
will.
between those two. In fact, we put out, I don't know, it's 10, maybe 10 matchups across the state that were 50-50 matchups, and I felt like that was one of them, Hector and Desart. But let's start at number one and let's work our way down.
DPC took care of business with Mark Tree, beat him 42-12.
Yeah, nothing new there. We
Nope.
we really expected that would happen, and it did happen. And so, 42-12. Right now EPC, there's no reason to think that they're not the best team in 2A. Um, you know, who knows? Who knows? I mean, right now, I really think you got three teams there that are really legitimate state title contenders between them and Junction City and Mount Ida.
Yeah.
And not to say that nobody else can win it. I think they can. I think Cross County comes in right after that. But EPC's been the number one team for a while, and they've been the number one team for a reason.
Yes.
And so there's no reason why that right now you can't call them. I would say they're just a slight above the other two to be the favorite to win it all.
They're great on offense and they're pretty solid on defense too. Like they just go out and take care of business. That's what they do.
Right. Hey, by the way, did that cross post? I know that
Yeah.
we had
Yeah. Yeah.
some. Okay,
Worked
just
just fine.
making sure there. Anyway, go ahead.
Next up, Junction City. They beat Spring Hill 53-0. And just taking care of business.
They have ran through the 2A3 very easily, um, and right now they're a definite contender for the state championship. So really not a lot to say about that. They are playing. Who are they playing? I need to pull these playoff brackets up because I know I'm going to refer to them quite a bit as we go here. So I'm going to pull that up real quick. Um, who are they playing? They're playing the four out of the four, which is Bearden.
Yep.
That's right. So they're playing Bearden in round one. Bearden finds themselves in an interesting position because Bearden, was a 1 seed up until 2 weeks ago, and the loss to Poen knocked them all the way down to a four. That
Wow.
is that
That's
is
tough.
difficult. That is difficult. So, anyway, so they play Bearden in round one, and it's one of them things. Show them what you won, folks. You get a chance to go to Junction City, and
Whew.
while that's probably a harder four than you'd like as a one, at the same time, that's Bearden really hurt themselves with that loss to
They
Poen.
did. Big time. That's a tough out, first round, man.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
next up, Mount Ida, they took care of Mountain Pine 42-8.
Nothing new there. Mount Ida just continues to roll. They just continue to do what they do. Everything seems to be going as to plan with them. And like I said, they're one of the three teams that I really think are legitimate state title contenders in the 2A. And again, I think you got to throw Cross County in there, but maybe just a shade below the other three. And so, with that said, we'll see what happens.
Collier Bush, Rice Birds. Yeah, we'll get there, buddy. Don't you worry.
Right, right.
Next up, excuse me. Speaking of Cross County, our number 14, they beat Earl 60-32.
Yep.
So,
And
wow.
right, Cross County gets Bigelow. Bigelow gets in the playoffs. You know, I really didn't even think about Bigelow making the playoffs, and they pulled off the victory against Conway Christian in the rivalry game. Conway Christian was sitting in that three spot, so Conway Christian and East Poinsett County now will battle it out. They played in the state championship game last year, and so now they battle it out. And then you got Bigelow playing Cross County. I like Cross County in this one. That Cross County Junction City matchup in round two, which is the most likely thing right now, I think is going to be a very interesting one for sure.
Joe Blaze checking in says Junction City, Mount Ida have a lot to prove as we both had relatively easy schedules.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, you kind of take that with a grain of salt because are easy schedules are just that much better than everybody else.
I think maybe a little of both.
Yeah.
I think maybe a little of both there.
All right, next up we got 5 Carlisle. They took care of business in their rivalry with Hazen, 35-0.
Yeah, Carlisle goes in as a two seed. They've got Spring Hill. You've got a Mount Ida Carlisle possible matchup in round two. That's going to be an
Ooh.
interesting one for sure. That I'm if you look at these second round possibilities, obviously again, as Joe says, you gotta get there, right?
Hmm.
But if you look at it, you got Mount Ida Carlisle as a possibility, you got East Poinsett County, and probably Poe or Girton in round two. Um, man, that right there, that's a 50-50 type game right there. I think I included that one in there. And then you got Cross County Junction City as a possibility, and then the Hector Hampton winner there, um, or Hector Desark versus Hampton Mineral. That's going to be interesting.
Jeez.
Those are going to be interesting matchups in round two there. But yeah, I like Carlisle in against Spring Hill in this one. Um, I think that Carlisle's in a pretty good spot, and Carlisle's a good team. They're going to be a tough out in round two.
Yeah, they are. Carlisle just always puts a good squad on the field. Every time we've seen them, and we've seen them a lot over the
Yep,
past couple years.
yep.
It's just a good game. All right, next up, number 6, Hampton. They beat Baptist Prep 48-34.
Yeah, Hampton comes away with a victory, and I think Hampton really helped themselves in the last couple of weeks with a couple victories, and they're back in that one spot. They beat Carlisle at home, 36-28, and in overtime, if I'm not mistaken, and that ended up helping them get on to um, the one seed there. Again, I think it's an interesting matchup. Mineral Springs is a team that has won four out of the last five. They're playing a lot better right now. They come in the playoffs after beating Murfreesboro, I think like 30-6 or something like that in the last game. So Mineral's a tough out, I think, right now because they're playing really well. They're that team that you just kind of just don't want to see right now.
No.
So anyway, but all again, 2A bracket's going to be interesting.
Oh, Joe tuning in, chiming in again. First says agreed. Justin City, Cross County, be fantastic game. And Mount Island Carlisle says it has we announced what games will be streamed for round one.
We haven't announced it yet, but we can right now. We're going to be at Clinton for Clinton and Fountain Lake in round one, and then we just kind of go round by round, and depending on what kind of availability we have, we'll look at round two and see where we go from there because we don't know for sure exactly what kind of availability we got because we've got another crew that goes with Pottsville, and Pottsville is in Blytheville this weekend.
Yay!
So
Long drive for
it's a,
me
it's a long
Friday.
way. It's a long
Yeah.
way to Blytheville. So anyway, we'll see what happens there, and if we can go do two, we may do a second one.
Dairy Screen saying thanks for our consistent and unbiased coverage for all teams, especially for us down in Lake Village. We wish we could have made it in.
Hey, Coach Green, I appreciate you, man. I can say that there are some people who would disagree with you on the non-bias thing. We we're in that mode now that we hate everybody. That's
Yeah.
that's what happens when you're non-biased. You hate everybody. So we're kind of in that mode. But Coach Green, thank you for joining us once
Yeah, we
again.
appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
And and like I said, I'm always a bit biased. I can't
Yeah,
just for Pottsville, no other teams. That I don't, everybody else. I just want to have a great game because that's what makes it fun, right?
right.
All right, next up, where we at? Number 7, Hector. They beat Magazine 50-22.
Man, that Hector Desert matchup is an interesting one, and I can't give away too much because we got a playoff special that we're doing tomorrow night, which we're going to go through and pick every bracket throughout the state, and you don't want to miss that. We've been saying that you need to join us. I will say that there hasn't been that many that have joined us, but since I have said, and we have had that people have joined us, we're going to have to go with that, even though there hadn't been that many. So I'm going to encourage you that if you want to watch the playoff special tomorrow night, we'll get it out there. I'm saying probably about 6 o'clock tomorrow night. Make sure that you join us on YouTube right there, and we'll go from there.
Joe asked if I was a Pottsville, and proudly, yes, sir.
Yes, sir,
It's,
he is.
uh,
Oh, Shiloh Christian, how do you become a member? We go on, you're on YouTube right now. You have to subscribe and then you have to go to the join button there. You have to do both to make sure to do that. But it will be members only. So make sure that you get that out there.
Coach Green said, if everyone loves you, then you're doing something wrong. We agree, Coach.
Well, let me tell you something, Coach, and you know this because you are a coach, so you understand. Everybody can do this better than you can. I mean, that's just how that people act. It doesn't matter if you coach fourth grade football or you run a sports network or you referee or you do this or you do that. Everybody that sits on the sidelines can do it better. And we got Collier Bush on there saying how to join. Make sure you go to YouTube, click subscribe, click join.
Yeah, there's a member button. It's $10.
Yeah. But we're going to start doing more member content. Number one, here's the thing. Let's just delve into it while we can. This is a major help for us because we are basically all we're dependent upon our revenue streams with advertisers. Great, we appreciate our advertisers. But this social media stream is a huge help to us coming in every month. And so if you join us, you get the ASN Basketball Classic. Again, new content. We will have member content throughout the playoffs for people that have joined us. So make sure you do that. Also, if you're a Razorback fan, we're going to start trying to include some of that stuff in there as well. So make sure you join us there. Anyway, let's go ahead.
All right. Picture Magazine. All right. Number 8, Poland. They beat Clarendon 28-8. Poland sneaking in the top 10.
Man, I'll tell you what, one of the things I wouldn't want to see Poen in this just because they have the quarterback that can throw the football
Hmm.
and throw it so well. I mean, Colt Barrett is one of those guys that we're probably going to have to look at for the D3 Auto Sales MVP, and he's going to be in the mix for that. And
He's
he's
having a
just
great season.
6'6" quarterback, so that
Phew.
causes issues as well right off the
Yeah.
bat. I mean, he's got them playing pretty well right now, and that victory that they had over Bearden was something. And that one is like I said, that's a 50-50 game, and we uh, do do think that that's going to be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be fun. Sebastian, we had catch up, so I sent
Yeah,
him that link.
appreciate you.
It's all right. Next up, number 9, Desert. They beat McCoy 30-16.
Rivalry game, throw the records out the window, as they say.
Yeah.
But Desark was able to pull it out. I think they might have trailed in that ball game 16-8, if I'm not mistaken. But they were able to pull it out in the second half. And again, one of the most interesting matchups in the first round of the whole state is Desark and Hector.
Yes, it is. It's gonna be a great one, and being a Pope County team, got to pull for Hector a little bit, but don't get it wrong. I've enjoyed every game I watched with Desert.
Yeah, right.
Desert, and look, D3 Auto Sales, Desert. They're the ones who they
That's right.
support us more than anybody.
That's right.
So that's a tough one for
Yeah.
us. It's
Yep.
got just Terrell Handy said, "Let's go Blyville chicken sauce." It,
Well, I can tell you, you're not going to get that from Justin. That's for
sorry.
sure.
I don't want nobody to get hurt. I hope it's a great game, but I hope Pottsville wins that one. Last up, Beard and number 10, they beat England 50-14. Took care of business.
Yeah, they took care of business. Now they get a chance to go to Junction City, and again, the biggest thing for them was that big loss last week to Poen. That was tough. The 1 point loss that they had to Carlisle ended up being a killer for them. And you had two teams in that conference at 6-1, and you had one or two teams in that conference at 5-2, and that was a big deal there. So anyway, we appreciate it. And Joe Blaze, thank you, Joe, for becoming a member. Appreciate you. Appreciate you there. It really does help. I'm telling you. Samuel Diaz, Cash App, thank you.
Yeah, Joe's been tuning in with us
Appreciate you.
for some weeks now, and friends of mine on Facebook love
Yeah,
post great stuff about his local schools. It's
right.
awesome,
Yeah, he's
and
a Mount Ida guy.
yeah,
And
he
so,
is.
and look, Mount Ida, there's a lot to be cheerful about. And I'm telling you,
Didn't we
Mount Ida's going to be good, not just this year, but for years
did
to
we
come.
watch a Mount Ida game last year?
You and I did a Carlisle Mount Ida
That's
semifinal
right.
game. That
That's
was like
right.
2022,
Yeah,
I
okay, that's what I was
believe.
thinking. Wow, yeah, I knew
Yeah.
we'd done a Mount Ida game.
And that was a heck of a ball game, by the
It
way. That
was.
came down to the very last play there in the state semifinals.
Yeah. Oh, that's it for the 2A. Moving right along, we'll jump to the 3A. I get my graphic up here. There we go. And first game of 3A, number one Salem. They took care of Quitman 60-15. That's just been Salem's MO all season long.
Tell you what, Salem right now,
Whew.
they might be rounding into position. I mean, they're playing really well. They beat Mayflower at home. They're a tough
Beat
team.
Atkins at home.
They beat yeah. They're a tough team. I'll tell you that right now. They're very physical at the point of attack, and that makes them hard to beat. Let me
And
tell
Vicky
you.
Hurst saying go Salem. Yeah, you're right. They are hard. Yes,
Yeah.
every game I've seen them play. I haven't got to see them in person, but watching, man, that you ain't lying. They are hard to handle at the point of attack.
So, from my understanding, I read this that Falk gets a chance to go to play Salem, which is a long way. Good Lord.
Golly, you couldn't get further,
Right?
could you?
Just about. In fact, let's just see what that is here. Um, there are some different, of course, that's the way it happens in the playoffs. There's some mileage.
Yeah,
Um, but this one might be as many as you can possibly get here. Falk, let's look at Falk. Let's see if I can get it. Directions. I got those. Okay, here we go. What does MapQuest say?
good Lord.
313 miles. You can't hardly get further in the state than that. I mean, they're
Gee,
they're a long way. 4 hours and 54 minutes, and then you got to do it on the old yellow dog, man.
yeah, so
That's
make that 5 hours and 54
right.
minutes at
They
minimum.
might need to leave today.
You ain't kidding.
Anyway,
Goodness.
but Falk lost a coin flip. Falk lost a coin flip, and they ended up as the 5 seed because of that. And again, show them what they won. They
Yeah,
won a trip to Salem, which Salem is playing really, really well right now.
I saw a coin flip. Texas teams. Don't remember what classification, but man, it's Friday Night Lights all over again for them.
Right.
All right, next up in the 3A, number two Mansfield. Boy, this was one of 8 80-point games this season. Took on West Ford, beat them 80-8. My
Mm.
goodness.
Yeah, it's interesting. You, has offense gotten so much better that you're giving up 80, or is it the fact that defense isn't as good? I'm going to go with that probably more than anything there. I have seen people shy away from tackling more than you would probably even think.
It's a weird year for
Yeah,
that. I've seen a
yeah,
bunch of it.
yeah. I've seen a bunch of it. Which, look, I mean, you got to man up if you're going to put somebody on the ground. That's for sure.
Got St. David Barlow saying go McGee Owls. Tim Clifford, go Birds. I assume that's the Stuttgart
Oh yeah,
Rosberg.
that is Kane Price's grandpa right there.
Oh, hi, Mr. Clifford. Pleasure to have
Yeah.
you here. I got to watch Kane. Me and him did watch Kane Thursday night. Oh, he's
Oh, let
something.
let me address that too. By the way, guys, the D3 MVP of the week. I want to apologize to Stuttgart for the fact that I made a typo. And the problem with typos and the way you do these MVP votes polls, you can't do anything but a phone, like to put a poll up. You can't do it on the computer. I can't change it once it's up. And by the time that somebody pointed out to me, and let me just say it wasn't very nice that they did it, it was already, we already had over 1,000 votes on the thing, which you don't have to have it up very long for that to
No,
happen. Kane Price threw for 270, ran for 150. I mean, he had an unbelievable game. On the thing, it says 27, passed for 27 yards. So if you want Kane to win, you guys need to get in there and vote. Voting is open till 10 o'clock tonight. But again, I love Tim Clifford. Appreciate him for joining us here tonight or today. And again, we want to encourage you, make sure you become a member on YouTube for that playoff preview picks all the way across the board. It's going to be a good time there.
Brian Harrelson tuning in saying, Hooten says Atkins put 3A game of the week. What's up, dude? Glad to
Well,
have you, man.
it's yeah, it's one of those 50-50 games.
Yeah, and he would know his dad's a coach here at Atkins.
Yeah.
Coach Harrelson,
Yeah.
one of my high school coaches. Love that man. All right, next up for the 3A. Oh, Bismarck beat Horatio 57 nothing. Bismarck just taking care of business, man. They're good.
So the interesting thing about Bismarck, and you're going to throw Salem in this and Mansfield, they're all on the
Under,
same side of the
yeah.
bracket.
Oh gosh.
So in order for Mansfield to win it all, which they get the home field, so that's an advantage to them. They have to be able to beat Salem at home, and they have to be able, or well, they have to be able to beat Bismarck first, and then Salem. Now that's if
God.
everybody makes it.
Yeah.
That's if everybody makes it. So that top of the bracket is a little bit harder, a little bit tougher. You've also got Newport on that side of the bracket. McGee's on that side of the bracket as well. Drew Central, who's playing well, is on that side of the bracket. On the back side of the bracket, you got Rivercrest, Boonville, Glen Rose, Atkins, and Prescott both, Fordyce, Charleston. So that I mean, there it's spread out pretty good because
It's a whole lot of
3A is
it's a whole lot of good luck.
right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Whoever wins 3A and 4A, they're going to be tested for
Yeah, they
sure.
are. Brady Terry saying go Greyhounds, Brittany Gee saying go Badgers, and Lamont Gray and McGee Owls.
Yeah,
Yeah, just mentioned them. Yeah, good crowd tonight. Thanks for, or today, I say tonight.
yeah,
Thanks for tuning in with us. If you got any questions, feel free to ask. We don't mind answering.
yep.
Next up in the 3A number 4, Charleston, they beat Greenland 38-6.
Yeah, Charleston just doing what Charleston does. They got Barton. That you want to talk about all name game there for the state of Arkansas. Charleston and Barton in round one. Of course, we know Barton hadn't won a lot recently, but man, they're one of the most historied or storied um, teams in the
Yep.
state of Arkansas, and Charleston's got five, I believe, state championships, and definitely one of those teams right now that you look at and you say they're a legit possibility. But here, check this one out. Round two, Charleston Fordyce at Fordyce could very well be what you see,
Oh,
right?
Fordyce is a tough place to play.
That's going to be
The,
that will be unreal. That's going to be round two in the 3A and 4A is going to be awesome.
That well, we did a game of Fordyce some years
Yep.
back, and look, them Redbug fans, they love their Redbugs. Let me tell
Yes,
you.
sir.
All right, next up, Fordyce beat McGee 21-14. Fordyce our number 5 team.
Um, so yeah, Fordyce is, they're a little bit of an enigma this year. I felt like watching them in game one against Monticello with the athletes that they have a real shot at winning it all. And not to say that they don't now, but I just feel like that they've kind of pulled back a little bit. But who knows? I mean, I feel like teams get bored after a while in the regular season. So now it's time to pick it up. They got Jessieville at Fordyce in round one.
Whew, yeah, and Fordyce just isn't the powerhouse they used to be. But
Well,
they're still great.
boy,
Don't let me say they're not, because they
well,
always have good football
you got to
teams.
consider that they won the state championship in was it 19? No, 19 was one of them. It was 18 and 19 and went back in 20, I believe.
And
Or no, no, no.
was that were they
It,
2A then, or were they 3A then?
they were 2A then.
Yeah.
Well, they've bounced back and forth between 3A and 2A. They've had success in 3A as much as 2A too. I haven't played for the 3A state championship in a bit. Maybe somebody can tell us there in the comments. But anyway, they're going to be at home against Jessieville, and I'm expecting them to play Charleston in the next week.
David Bartlett saying the Owls have been up and down the season, but he thinks they'll beat Magnet Cove, and maybe you're right. And you know, I got friends in McGee, and I got a cousin that teaches in Magnet Cove, so I'm torn
Well,
there.
I'll tell you one thing about it. I don't know a ton about Magnet Cove. That is one team. The four, for some reason, seems to be hiding away from me. I just don't know enough about the 3A4.
Yeah, it's it's weird down there. Let's see, Julie Morton saying love her Tigers. Mansfield and Charleston. Mansfield alum, we got a nephew at Charleston. Boy, that's split loyalties there.
Right.
Tough, man. All right, next up, number 6, Glen Rose. They beat Danville 45-6.
They have rolled through that conference, only
Mm-hmm.
lost to Bismarck, and they jumped out on Bismarck 14-0. I love Hood at quarterback. I love what they do on offense. They're going to change formations quite a bit. They're going to give you a lot of looks. Um, things kind of rolled south on them against Bismarck. I'll be interested to see what they do. Um, looking at their playoff draw, let me look here. Glen Rose, Harrisburg, got Prescott Atkins. That winner there, boy, that's again one of those heck of a matchups in round two there. Could very well be.
Man. Next up, number 7, Mayflower. They took care of business with Atkins 27-6.
Yeah, that one was a little bit of a surprise, especially for the score that it was. Not
Yep.
that Mayflower won, but the fact that they won 27-6. I
Mm-hmm.
really thought this was a 50-50 game coming into it. And I actually liked Atkins because I liked their quarterback play better than I like Mayflower. But man, Mayflower's defense is so good,
Yeah, they
man.
are.
But the biggest thing for that game is the fact that you get a home game in the playoffs, at least one. And, depending on how it goes, looking at it, you're only going to get one just because of where you're placed in the bracket, most likely. But Mayflower in a good spot. Harmony Grove, Washita County is who they play. They were a part of that coin flip there. And Washita County got it in as the 4 seed in that conference, and Falk got in as the 5. And Center Point was a team that was left out because of that coin flip.
So I'm sorry, I'm looking at Mayflower right now. So I've seen, because their defense has been pretty spectacular this
Yep.
year, we can say. The England game, it says they won 3 to
That was that
nothing.
was a that was a forfait. That
Oh,
was a
okay. Oh,
forfeit. Yeah.
gotcha. Okay, I was, yeah, a
Yeah.
little confused on there. They've allowed, oh goodness,
18, 24, 31, 38, 45 points
yeah, that's freaking nuts. 45 points
all
all
season
season.
long,
Spectacular. They blanked,
and
let's see,
18 of
one,
them in the
two.
last 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was, against the, two of the best teams, other best teams in their
Well,
conference.
I
I mean,
mean,
that's saying something.
both those teams are ranked in the top 10.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
Atkins, I still got them at 10 right now.
yeah. I mean, it's one of those guys. I mean, what do you say about their defense except
Right.
wow?
Oh yeah.
It's next up, number 8 Smackover took care of Falk 70-28. Whew.
Mitchell Polk was our D3 Auto Sales MVP of the week. It's the second time this week. He's definitely going to be considered, or this year, I should say. He's definitely going to be considered for the MVP of the year. Been injured a little bit, and their offense has taken a hit, but they've been able to kind of survive that. And I'll tell you what, as far as just offensively, they're as dangerous as anybody. So you could have a second round matchup of Smack over Mayflower, and you've got offense versus defense. I mean, that'll be one heck of a matchup between contrasting styles right there.
Yeah, that's just Smackover been putting some good numbers this year. They really
They
have.
have
Next up, number 9 Rivercrest. They beat Piggott 48-8. Took care of business there.
Rivercrest took care of business. I think Pigot's one of the teams that has got one of the longer losing streaks in the
Yep.
state, if not the longest losing streak in the state. So, just a game that you wanted to get through. Don't get anybody injured, and they get the bye in the 3A. So that's a big deal for them.
Yeah, it's huge. Oh, that's it for the 3A because we already covered the Atkins. They're a number 10 team. Moving on to the 4A. Ooh, boy, Dardanelle, Arkadelphia, Elkins, and Gosnell. 4 great teams there.
Absolutely.
If I can get my notes up, sorry. Dardanelle beat Mina 28-13.
Yeah, I think Dardanelle just kind of rolled through that game. Mina gets the 5 seed. I'm going to tell you right now, I've said this before. I'll say it again. Mina and Hamburg is going to be an interesting matchup.
Yes, it is.
I'm not I'm not saying that Mina's going to win. What I'm saying is Mina as a 5 is a dangerous 5 because they're not that bad. I
Mm-mm.
mean, they've played Ozark tough. They played Dardanelle pretty tough.
Their worst loss was Pottsville,
You're
oddly
right.
enough.
You're right. They were the worst loss there. And so I'm just telling you, I'm telling you now, if you're a Hamburg fan, Mina's going to come in with a game plan. That's one thing that they're going to do. Now, they may not have the athletes to match up with you, but I'm telling you, they will have a game plan coming in.
They're going to be ready and they're going to play defense.
Now, let's just say this. It could roll south on them real quick,
It
and
could.
if it does,
Not Lewis. Wow.
right? If
That
it
young man.
does, then it does. But I'm just saying they're going to have a game plan. They're going to be ready to go. So just know that. But anyway, that said, we're talking about Dardanelle. Dardanelle finishes undefeated 10-0, and their first round matchup is Malvern,
I'm just so
right?
worried they didn't get a bye to me. It
Well, it's just the buys rotate. They actually
yeah.
got a buy last year.
Yeah, that's true. They
They
did. I
did.
forgot about that.
They got a buy last year, so I mean, they just rotate. So anyway, there's nothing you can do about it. Stuttgart got the
Yeah, that's
buy
true.
this year, as long with along with Gosnell. So
It we'll get to them in just a minute, folks. You got a lot of people fans of them
right,
Riceburgs here today. It's number 2 Arkadelphia. They took care of Malvern 53-21. Malvern's a bit down this year.
a little bit. And Arkadelphia owns that series.
Yeah, they
I
do.
mean, even the year that Malvern won the state championship, Arkadelphia won that game.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, I know people complain because Arkadelphia has been ahead of Nashville, but I'm telling you right now, Arkadelphia has got as good a shot as anybody to win state championship. So just know that for sure.
Mary Welton saying love those hounds. And Nikki Hirsch saying Mister talk about the Greyhounds. We
Hey,
got them, and you're going to get more of it tomorrow if you join us.
all right, Nikki. Let me tell you, they're Salem. They're good. Okay,
Yeah,
there you go.
that's
They're
all you got
they're
to say.
really really good.
Something I wanted to say about Dardanelle, I forgot before we moved on. Um, it seems to me Dardanelle just does what they have to do to win. They're not trying to do too much or show too much because
Yeah,
Vega likes to hold his cards to his chest. You see these close games, you know, they just smoked Pottsville 40-0, and letting other teams score the next week. I just they get up
yeah,
for Pottsville because I always do.
right.
Uh, but it just seems Dardanelle they just do what it takes to win.
Dardanelle seems like the big brother to Pottsville right now, where
Yeah.
it's like they like to
Uh,
rub their nose in it anymore.
yeah, it's
More,
been
I
a
mean,
beating for a while.
they're just Dardanelle's really good. I mean, they just have been for a long time. Dardanelle has been good now for like 20 years.
Yeah,
I mean, they've had a couple off years here and there, but about 20
and
years.
nobody's happier about it than Andre
Right,
Webster.
right, right.
Just ain't. We'll move on to Elkins Huntsville. Man, Elkins beat Huntsville 47-0. Look, Elkins, wow, always good,
Not enough people
always.
talking about the Elkins Elks right now. I'll
Nope.
tell you that. They're not telling. They're not. Yeah, they're not. I don't
Just
even know what else to say. They're not talking about them enough. Looking at Elkins' draw right now. Where are they at? Elkins. Oh, there they are playing Forest City. Elkins Southside in round two. That's going to be an interesting matchup. Elkins and Arkadelphia in round three, possibly, or Clinton as a possibility. And we'll see what happens.
yeah. I'm looking forward to that. Honest to
Right?
God. Uh, Tasha and Beetle saying go Birds.
Hey,
No.
by the way, I'm going to have you do something on the fly here, okay?
Okay, can do.
While we're doing this.
To Collier Bush saying feel like the Birds fly high till semifinals and it'll be a tough fight with Elkins. Yeah, tough fight. Elkins plays good defense, and I'm not saying anything bad about Stuttgart. When we were talking earlier, a whole lot of not tackling. They
Right.
still came out with a win versus Hamburg. They stopped Hamburg, what 2 times on offense is all it took, maybe 3. Got an interception there at the end, but Elkins they not only play good offense, they play really good defense.
They do. They do for sure.
I know. Brittany begins to say, keep an eye on number 4 from Arkadelphia. That boy's impressive. What's that boy's name? Miss McGee. Do you know off the top of your head? Because I
I
don't.
don't. I don't. Okay, so it's about 8 minutes to upload in the ASN drive. By the way,
Okay.
I want to put that on the end of this.
Okay. Can do.
Well, can we?
Yeah.
We may not be able to end it though if we have to go get our kids. That's the only problem.
It's all right. We still got time. It's only
Right.
2:45. Timothy Garcia saying Clarendon wins state next football season. That's a big call.
Well, that's a big call considering that they were 0-10 this year. But I I think that there's always enough athletes.
Yeah, that's true. No. All right. That's loading out. Next up, where am I at? Oh, number 4, Gosnell. They beat Westside 67. A lot of Gosnell fans in here right now. And some of them aren't happy with us all the time, but that's okay.
um,
Same with Nashville. It's okay.
well, so Gosnell won, right? And that's what we're talking about. Um, Gosnell's really good. I mean, they are, but I think this is a year where Gosnell, or where everybody's pretty good. I mean, there is, in my opinion, there is no clear cut, like head and shoulders above everybody in 4A, especially. I think that you could possibly say that about Salem in 3A, even though I think 3A is deep. And when I say head and shoulders, I mean maybe that much,
Yeah.
maybe that much in 3A. But in 4A, I don't see that team. I think that there's probably five, six, seven teams that could win 4A pretty easily.
4A's just stacked.
It is
It's
stacked.
hard.
It is
4A is
stacked.
tough. Football
Which,
and basketball.
I hear, when you hear people talk about it, they do talk about how that 4A is the fun tournament, and it
Yeah,
really
it is.
is, because you don't really know who's it gonna be. Brinkley moving back into 2A next season. Okay. All right. What else we got?
Okay, next up,
By the way, Gosnell has the bye. They play the winner
yeah,
of Warren and Gentry.
yeah, you got 2 weeks to wait on that.
Yeah.
And to rest up. So, that if you got any hurt players, it's a good time for them to get some healing in. Next up, number 5, Gosnell. They beat Genoa Central 56-0. Just more taking care of business from them.
Not Gosnell didn't beat them.
No, I said Nashville.
You said Gosnell.
Oh,
Nashville, which is no surprise there. Nashville again, one of those teams right now that could win state. They're definitely in that mix for
hmm
sure.
sitting at 8-2. So,
I think they're better now than they were when they lost those games.
oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I would hope so. They're playing
Right.
really well. To And the game we were at, number 6, Stuttgart, they beat Hamburg 52-41. Even though Nakel Lewis got the state record touchdowns, do you know if he beat the yardage record?
No, I don't think he has yet. I'm not sure how far off. Maybe somebody can tell us in the comments how far off he may be there. I felt like that was a shoe-in done deal that he would do that this year. But now the question is, how far off is he? How many games are they going to play? That's the question.
Yeah. Uh, okay. Number 7, Clinton, they beat Ozark 52-30.
That was a huge win.
Yeah, it was.
That was a big win. I'll tell you what. That's not to say that I didn't expect them to win. I would have said that they could have won that game. But with that being said, I am a little surprised by the distance in the score.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit surprised by that. So 52-30 going to Ozark and win it. I think Clinton is a dangerous football team. I really do. I think they're good. I think you'll get a chance to watch them this week on ASN with them in Fountain Lake, and then a good chance that you're probably going to see an Arkadelphia Clinton matchup in round 2, which is going to be interesting.
Yeah, it is. Clinton, they got some big old boys on the line, and
Uh,
their backs are
we
massive.
got less than a minute left on
Oh,
that, on this,
okay.
on this here.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, Clinton's going to be a tough out, especially home for Fountain Lake. But that the Clinton Arkadelphia matchup, that'd
Right.
be awesome if we get it. That'd be pretty spectacular, I think. Next up, number 8, Southside. They beat Blytheville 47-14.
Southside doing what Southside
Yep.
does. I don't think you can overlook Southside as a team that could make it deep into the playoffs. Again, I feel like they're very well coached, but the question is, you've got Southside in round 1. They are playing Huntsville. That is a likely victory for them. Round 2, though, Elkins and Southside at Elkins is going to be interesting. You all right? You good? Everything good? All right. Justin had to step away for just a second, so I'm going to get in here and figure out what's going on. Mills beat Lone Oak for the 7-4A championship, and Mills has only got one loss on the year. They moved back into our top 10 with the victory over Lone Oak. That was a big win, 21-14. I like Lone Oak. I think Lone Oak's a good team, and then I think Mills picked up a good victory. They've got Helena West Helena, and then they play the winner of Bauxite Ozark. You look out as possibility as a Stuttgart Mills possible matchup in round 3. that could be a big time matchup there. Stuttgart, as he said, picked up the victory over Hamburg, 52 to 41. That was a big victory there by Stuttgart. They won the 8-4A. They're 10-0 on the season. So that is a very big deal. It was a big deal there that they were able to win that victory. So anyway, but we have our playoff matchups, and we're going to pick our playoff teams. We're going to our champions. We're going to pick those, but you got to be a member to be a part of that. YouTube, go over to YouTube, subscribe to us on YouTube, click the join button. We've got a great show. In fact, I'm looking at it right now. I wish I could show you. Maybe I can do this. Maybe I can. I'm going to do this real quick. We're not quite. We're still working on it, but this is not my picks. I'm just showing you what we got going on right now. So I show you, that's what it looks like. Part of it anyway. Anyway, that's going to be tomorrow night. We're going to have it. It's going to be a long stream, probably talking about 2, 3 hours that we're going to be just talking. And you can join in with us. You can talk to us. You can let us know. We want you to join us. Again, it helps us big time. If you got the $10 to spare, that would be fantabulous. I'm waiting on Justin here. See what he's got going on. Here's what I'm going to do. I need to take a quick break. I'm going to come back here. We're going to talk a little bit more. Um, you good? You good? Everything good? All right, here we go. He's coming back, so everything good?
Oh yeah, sorry,
Okay,
school called.
I got you. Okay, so I need you to upload that interview if you can. It's in the ASN folder. And anyway, again, we want to tell you again, thank you for joining us here. We've got a little bit more here. We're going to talk a little bit about the Razorbacks real quick, and talk about, I think probably I would say the hottest rumor that's out there right now for the Razorbacks, um, and the coaching search. There seems to be one right now that, I mean, I'm not saying that it's going to be for sure this is going to happen, but it's interesting the way things seem to be unfolding with this. So we're going to talk about that. And I'm waiting on Justin right here. He's got that
Yeah,
download.
yes, yes,
So
yeah,
we'll,
buddy.
we'll and then we're going to talk to Peyton Dunn of the Pigpen Collective. If you haven't heard about the Pigpen Collective, the Pigpen Collective is a collective. If you're not familiar with collectives with NIL, where the common fan and the common man can join in and be a part of the Pigpen Collective. So we're going to have an interview with him. What you got?
David Rollins on YouTube said Atkins moving
That
back to the
that is
4A.
true. That is true.
Wow,
Yeah.
could be 4A4,
Yeah.
Pottsville.
Yeah.
Oh,
hmm
thank God.
Now,
That's I
now
hope
hold on
so.
just a second. That could change because private schools have not been put in just yet, but it is a possibility. Right now, their numbers are 4A numbers.
Yeah.
What teams are
Uh,
supposed to be 2A next year? Man, I haven't really gotten a chance to look at that. And again, you still have to wait for uh, your uh, your private schools to get put in there, and they haven't been put in there yet. So
Hopefully, we'll know that soon.
all right, let's talk Hogs real quick. If everybody stick with us here, Arkansas Razorbacks. If you don't know, obviously looking for a head football coach. You know, Bobby Petrino's out there. I know he's a favorite of a lot of people. But with that said, there has been a hot rumor right now that James Franklin is heavily involved with Arkansas. And the only reason that I even mention that is because it continues to be out there to the point that some people are speculating. Now, this, again, speculation when I say, so don't go say, well, I heard Brad Caldwell on ASN say this is going to happen. But speculation is that there is a coach that right now Arkansas already has a done deal with. Well, when you start putting two and two together, there's not any coaches out there that you can have a done deal with unless you went and got Brian Kelly, who just got fired
Ugh,
at LSU, and I don't
God
think
no.
I don't think he'd be a good fit at Arkansas.
Mm-mm. He wasn't a good fit at LSU.
Exactly. That was part of the problem there. You could go get any of these fired coaches. Well, I mean, who would you want as one of these fired coaches? You know what I mean? I don't know. Who would you want as one of these fired coaches?
Look, the only positive thing to me about James Franklin is maybe we'll get some Keegan Michael Key
Right.
impersonations.
Well, here,
That'd be fun.
but here you go. Again, the question is, if it's anybody, it's got to be him, right? I mean, that's the one person that everybody would be excited about. Now, the rumor has been, and that has been stated by some people that would be in the know, that they have heard this as a rumor that that this will be announced before the Missouri game. That this is a done deal. So it's an interesting deal.
I hate rumors.
Right. But yeah, again, man, I'll tell you what, I'll be honest with you. I'd be thrilled, thrilled to death if James Franklin was the guy. But I would tell you this: there's a part of me right now that just wishes that Bobby Petrino would be the guy, and here's why I wish that.
Madre Hill.
Well, Mondre Hill, he did say that yesterday at the touchdown club. He talked about that.
It's a great interview
Basically,
with him, by the way.
basically, he talked about how there are coaches that really just own the room when they walk in, and Bobby Petrino is one of those guys. And he said Arkansas needs one of those guys. I agree with him. I
Yeah.
100% agree with him there. My thing with Petrino right now, you've got the offense is, I mean, numbers wise, is one of the tops in the nation. It's the defense that
Number one for
just,
most plays over 20 yards.
the defense is just terrible. It's just awful.
Yeah, it's not even good enough to be called terrible. That's how bad
Exactly.
it
It's
is.
just it's just pathetic. And so with that said, part of me is like, well, this is the part of the ball that he coached. I know he's trying now he's coaching it all,
Yeah.
but that's the part of the ball that he started out on, and he is obviously an absolute genius when it comes to that. So with that being said, part of me is like, man, I'd love to have Bobby Petrino still be our coach, but I just don't think it's shaping up to do that right now because he just can't pick up a victory as the interim. I don't think it's his fault. I think that the
Hmm.
guy he's a really good coach. Can I say that he's the guy that we had in 2010, 2009, 2011? I don't know that for a fact because he's been out. He has had some successes, some failures since he left
Yeah.
Arkansas. At
Right now he's trying to keep water in a holy bucket. And
that's
just
right.
there's nothing you can do. I
He
mean,
doesn't even have
he's just
flex
trying.
tape.
Yeah, he doesn't even have play. He ain't got
Yeah,
nothing.
he doesn't even have flex
Uh,
tape. So,
I mean, the people he's got helping him. They're doing the best they can, but
right.
you got injuries all over the place. I mean, our offensive line is not. I mean, even our offensive line is injured. A lot of them are, and so is the defensive. We're struggling with some injuries, not huge ones,
I feel like
but
Arkansas always struggles with injuries,
yeah,
don't you think?
injury bug likes to bite
It
us.
seems like it does, but anyway,
I mean, but you can't blame that on the losses. No, that's not it. It's we haven't had a good football team this year, top to bottom, except for our offensive.
the birds will fight till the end. That's true. They will. They will. So anyway, we're going to go right now. And again, Peyton Dunn and I had a conversation a few weeks back. He is the Pig Pen Collective guy. And he and I had a conversation about just the Pigpen Collective and what the common fan can do to join in and be a part and try to help the Razorbacks get off this track of crap. Can you believe that since 2012, the Arkansas Razorbacks have won less games than anybody in the SEC?
Oh, I can believe it.
Peyton Dunn is a guy that's trying to change that.
Yeah, let's get this cranked up. All right, hang on a second.
Welcome into the Arkansas Sports Network. I'm Brad Caldwell here, and I've got Peyton Dunn, and he is the president. Is that fair to say, president and CEO,
That term works.
I guess, of the Pigpen Collective? What's your background? Tell us a little bit about your background and where you come from.
So I come from Bradford, Arkansas, and that's the main reason I really wanted to get on your network because I am a huge supporter of Arkansas athletics. I came from an NAIA school, and there's not a lot of cover, right? Until we made the state tournament, I never was on, a streamed game before. We took film, but it didn't go anywhere. And if you need to know a score of a game, it's really hard to get it. So what y'all are doing and being able to stream and televise and give us news, it's like for me, it's like when I'm overseas or when I'm somewhere else, I can go and see what's going on in our state, and it gives us a platform and helps recruiting too, because now coaches can go and look at that and they don't have to come to the games. My background, though, is I just got out of 2 years of active duty. Now back in the guard. So I'm transitioning from that part of life, right? Like I know my military career is like I've been in 6 years. Like I'm ready to be done, right? I'm ready to transition to something else. So I got to float that out in the guard as long as I can. I got a job here in Nashville, Tennessee. But as soon as this is where I can do it as a full time job, which pretty far off right now, then that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to try to do this as best as possible.
And Peyton, I've seen you a lot on different avenues here in the state of Arkansas. And, I just get the feeling just watching you that you are a fed up fan. You're just kind of tired of watching Arkansas be bad. Um, how old are you, by the way?
I'm 24.
24. So you're a young guy. So for a good portion of your life, you have seen the Razorbacks stink in football. I, being 20 years older than you, have seen some good times come up. But I can understand where you're coming from as a guy that would like to see a good college football team in his lifetime, and you just seem like you're ready to do something about it.
I definitely am. Whatever it takes.
Well, talk to me about what happened, why you decided this is the thing I'm going to do.
So honestly, it was after the Memphis game. I personally went to that game and just got completely embarrassed by the fans there and just the team effort. So I did some thinking, watched the Notre Dame blowout, and I was like, let's try to do something. I talked to a friend. He was like, maybe it would work. And I'm like, well, I'm going to put it together. I'm going to try to make it work, follow for the business, put it out there. And it's really just blown up since then and turned into what we have today. And it's growing every day. So
Yeah, you're out there right now, big time. And from my understanding, what I can see of what you're trying to do, you're really trying to reach out to the common man and the common fan. I think that sometimes when you start talking about hundreds of dollars a month or even $100 a month in this time that people are in right now, it gets to be almost scary. But what I've heard you say is you'd love for somebody to just say $1 a day. Talk
it's
about
a
that a
dollar a
little bit.
week, a dollar
A
a
dollar
week,
a week. Okay.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if we get like I'll just give easier numbers because the precise number I think is 19,230 approximately. But let's just say you have 20,000 people. That's $20,000 a day, and over a year, that's more than $1 million in gross revenue. So then when we go talk to the John Tysons and we're like, hey, we raised $1 million, well, now they feel better about giving something too. And as I've talked to more people and got more comfortable in this space and kind of seeing the bigger picture of NIL, a lot of marketing companies, like if say the fans bring $1 million to the table, they'll match it as long as we can connect them with avenues to get to athletes. Because like this is the wild wild west right now. No one knows what they're doing and they're just trying to get their foot in the door. So if you bring a pretty good amount of money to the table, you can kind of do what you want to do. And I feel like it gives an opportunity for every fan to feel like they're involved. And now you have the populace with you, and you have this big passionate fan base that all feels like they contributed to get this team together, get these athletes, and it's something
Yeah.
really great.
I really like what you're saying there, just getting the fans involved and having them to feel like they have a hand in this. I will say, as a guy that's 44, a guy that's watched the Razorbacks my whole life, over the last few years, I have lost some interest in Razorback sports. I think because it's such a revolving door, and I feel like I don't have a stake in it like I used to have. I used to be able to watch these guys grow up. The Matt Joneses of the world, and I mean, I could go even far back as Todd Day and Lee Mayberry and all those guys and be able to watch them grow as players. And so I feel like that my stake is not there. But if I was to have a little bit of a stake, even though this is a little bit different, what you're talking about versus what I'm talking about, I feel like I could maybe have more interest in what's going on. Of course, you know, I have seen the Razorbacks lose so much. It's kind of like being a Dallas Cowboys fan. You just kind of get get numb to it, all of that. Of course, being a Razorback fan and a Cowboys fan at the same time, you just lose interest after a while because you don't think anything's going to change.
I think in the past like five, like actually the past 10 years, the Razorbacks and Cowboys have only won together on like 5 days. So
Oh
it's
wow!
pretty. I'm in the same boat as you, and it's like at least I got to
Right,
see 3 12-5 seasons in a row. Like we lost in
right.
the playoffs, and we can't even make a Belk Bowl. Like we're making it to the Liberty Bowl. Like it's like that's not enough.
So as we go forward now, I feel like that you've got a good idea. So obviously you're an idea guy, right? So tell us a little bit more about what you would like to see from this because it's not just $1 million. If it was $1 million, it's not going to be enough. There's got to be more to that. So what is beyond this initial investment here? What would you like to see happen?
So first, I'll say, everybody being invested, I always get in trouble for saying we. And it's like, oh, you didn't play for the team. But I'm like, no, it's a we. Us Arkansans, we have passion. This is our team. This is our state. It represents where we
Right.
came from. But the overall plan, it's, when I started it, it was kind of like, where is this going to go? And it could go a million different ways, and it still could go a million different ways. But now I have, like, talking to people, I have more of a better vision for it, right? Ideally, I want to stay in that 10%. And this is the first time I'm going to go on air explaining why maybe that's not the best move.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've talked to some firms that want to partner with us, and we negotiate and stuff, and they tell me some things and run some numbers, and it opens up my eyes. So it's like Northwest Arkansas is like the mecca of business, right? There's a Walmart, 90, I think within 90 like percent of the population. There's a Walmart with very close to 90% of the population. I can't remember what they say on their website for the miles, but say we go and as a collective we raise $20 million. Say I have to take 15%, but say at that 15% we can get a team together and make a deal with a management company that can get us over and get us a deal with Walmart, and now we have 1,600 brands to go and be like, hey, we signed all these athletes that can market for you. Can you match this deal? So yes, I took 5 more percent, but we just made 85, 170, right? 170% of what
Right,
we put in.
right.
So it really just tremendously opens the door for more opportunities in Arkansas and uses what we have in our own backyard that no other team in the nation has. So if we can get really passionate and look at this as like, this can be more than just some fans collective. This could be something that we have, and it's there to set up the players long term. Also, with that, we have a bunch of Walton scholars, right? Or the Walton School of Business. What better internship than helping us market our players? I want my
Right.
players to go to class and to go to practice. I don't want to worry about them growing their brand or doing all this off the field stuff. Let us take care of that. We can set this collective up to where we do all that for them. They just got to go play football and they got to go to class or whatever other sport they got. And that's the beauty of it. That's going to entice other players to come to us. You're telling me I just got to worry about this, and that, and I'm going to get paid? Yes, it's that simple, but we have to set it up. And I've seen some fans today, they said, well, we're waiting for the coach. Well, what coach wants to come here if they don't have any resources, right? I know we're burnt out, but at some point we're going to have to come together and make a change, because I'm just like all of you. I put money into this thing. It didn't work out. And now I'm like, what the heck do I do? And now I'm $3,000 into this new thing. And I'm just asking for $1 a week, right? It's $52 a year. But if we all do that, we're going to be where we need to go. And then that gives me the resources to go make these deals and make it happen. So
That's really. I feel like what you're saying right now is something that I hear a lot of fans talk about. Well, we've got Walmart and we've got JB Hunt and we've got Tyson and we've got this and we've got that, but yet it doesn't seem like it produces much, if anything at all. I mean, we know that behind the scenes, these people are giving money, but obviously it's not enough money. You talked about the Wild West earlier, and where Arkansas's at, I feel like, Hunter Yurachek came out, and I'm not trying to be strong in criticism with Hunter Yurachek. I mean, he gets enough of that as it is. But when you come out and you say that there's this third lane that we're not going to play in or whatever. It seems like Arkansas is trying to play within the rules, supposedly, and everybody else is just doing whatever they want to do. So we're not playing within the rules of the game, we're playing a different game than what everybody else is. And so it's time, I feel like, if you are fed up with what's going on, that it's time to step up and do something about it. So, like for you, that's like, I commend you for stepping in, especially as young a guy as you are, to step in and not be afraid to come in and try to do something about that, because obviously you're just fed up.
Right. Yeah. And the thing is us not being associated or affiliated professionally with the university, we can go more into that third lane. But honestly, there's not even a third lane because there are no rules right now. We have the House
Right.
settlement, and we have a couple things the NCAA put out, like, hey, we got to look at your contract first. It's got to make sense. But to go more into detail on what I meant by, hey, we have Walmart and all these businesses up here, it's that we can go 20 minutes down the road and we could talk to 1,600 corporations. We could talk to Old Spice. We talk to Coca-Cola. We can talk to PepsiCo. Every company that does business with Walmart has an office that we can literally just go and talk to, right? And we shop them the idea of representing our athletes. And now to the fans, the appeal for you is you only have to put, like, let's say we put 20 million together. Well, now it's 40 million because every company that does business with Walmart has a marketing fund. So this ain't even donated funds from the like. So say the WalMarts are still going to give money. This is out of a separate pot. This is marketing because we're helping them out and they're helping us out. It's a mutual beneficial agreement, right? So this isn't donated funds. This is just business funds, and a lot of people like it's a whole wild west because no one knows how it's going to go. There's a million different ways. They don't know if regulation is going to come in, but once you open the can of worms, you can't shut it. Once you open Pandora's box, you can't shut it, and kids are going to get paid to play sports in college, and that's just how it's going to be. And it's either as Arkansas, it's like we're going to pony up and we're going to pay them, or we're going to continue to suck. And look at what Cal's doing. Cal's paying them, and we're winning.
Right.
Van Horn's paying them, and we're winning. But we can't do it in football, and football takes a lot more money. Like you pay 5 guys in basketball, you have a team. You got to pay 11 guys on offense, 11 guys on defense, a special teams, and you need subs because the SEC's deep. And you get the point. You got a good bullpen and a couple of hitters, you're good in baseball.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you're absolutely right. Um, so as we move forward with this, how quickly do you want to get involved here? How fast do you think you can get involved with the university and your plan?
It really depends on the fans. I can have this vision and I can have this plan, but with no backing, it doesn't go fast. Ideally, I'd like it to go like before we hire a coach, so we have something set up to back that guy up. Because guess what? When we hire the coach, it's going to be after December or December. You know what opens that next semester? The transfer portal. So if we don't have NIL, guess what we're going to do next year? We're going to suck because we didn't get these older veteran players we could have had money to give to, right?
Right.
Like if we
Right.
have this built, or at least building it and have it going in a direction we need it to go, we're going to have it for the transfer portal, and people are going to see instant results. If not, they're going to be like, "Oh, y'all sucked," and it's like, really, you didn't give this new coach the opportunity to hit the portal with all the resources possible. So that's kind of like the sooner the better, if that makes sense.
Well, I'm going to commit to the $52 right now. Like I'll send that to you tomorrow. How about that? I mean, that's really not a lot to ask when you're talking about wanting a program to get better, right? And I mean, like I said earlier, you ask the common man for $100 a month. That's $1,200 a year. That's difficult. I mean, I've got 2 kids at home, family. Not to say I couldn't spare $100 a month, but I'd have to plan on it. I'd have to sit down and look at it. $52, I can definitely give that to you easily without any problem. So we'll commit to that. And hopefully we can get your message out here for what you're doing. So let me ask you this. Arkansas really doesn't have a strong collective. I would say most of the SEC, if not all of the SEC, does have strong collectives. What is the explanation as to why Arkansas doesn't have a strong collective?
I mean, I don't know what goes on at the Hill. I mean, I can see some things that are going on, and I've said on other shows like how it's going with my relationship with the Hill. So I don't want to go into it because I don't want to make Hunter's life any harder than it already is. Right? He's getting enough flack. Right? I'm just trying to be like, hey, I'm here to help you. Right? I'm here to like save your job if you want it. Right? I'm bringing you the fans that are mad at you and giving you support. Um, I think it's like we went with outsiders that weren't from Arkansas and they screwed us over, to be honest. Like they took 15% up front, and who knows what they did in the back end because no one's releasing any of the documents out there, right? Um, it's like people are like, oh, this guy's like, he's just a kid. He's not, proven or anything. And I'm like, but when I hear people talk about politics, what do they not like? The rich man or the proven guy, right? They want the new guy, right? So somehow it's changed, right? We want the guy that's rich. Well, most people that are rich had to do something to get rich, and they probably tax evade too. So like they're used to doing things a little behind the lines. It's like let's invest in the guys that are from Arkansas and continue to give back to the state.
I think you're making a name for yourself. You're doing what a lot of fans may have been afraid to do, maybe didn't know how to do. You're taking action and taking initiative in it. And that I can say, as a guy that is 20 years older than you, I commend you for that. Um, so, coaching hires coming up very quickly. You said you'd like to see something in place to where you can go to the university with that. We know it's all in the fans. Ideally, though, what would that be? What would that conversation look like when you go in and you say, hey, we've got this to give toward the university?
Okay, by December, if ideally, let's get like 100,000, right? Because that at least gives me leverage to go to the table. But it would look like I'm talking to the coaches, right? Let's say we get a new football coach, transfer portal's coming up. Hey, what do you need? Right? We got 100K waiting for you. All right. He says, good. Then I go talk to a sponsorship, say, hey, we can sign, these athletes, and then you can get your brand to go bigger, and then they matched 100K, right? So it might even look better to use that 100K to sign as many players that we already have to try to retain the talent we do have, right? And just get more athletes to throw at the brand so the brands want to match it because the brands care about getting the brand out there and having an online presence, or even a billboard or merchandising, and it's like if we can make deals with the companies we got to make deals with, then hopefully they can wear Razorback jerseys, right, when they do it, and it's not some off-brand stuff. But it's a lot of work that's got to be done, and we got to have money to do that. So that's the ideal situation. If it's 20,000, which was my original goal, that's fine too, because at least we can make deals with 20,000. Because I could put 10,000 in the bank to where we don't go bankrupt and continue to do this thing for a long time.
Okay, so tell people, how would they be able to give to you? If they want to be a part of this, how do they get to be a part?
So we have a website. It's www.pigpencollective.com. You go to our memberships part of that website, and then you either pick the $1 Pledge Club or we got a $20 one too if you want to go up. It's the Everyday Fan one. And then we have the donations page where you can say you can't give $1 a week. You could give $1 a month on there, and at least you're giving. You could give $1 one time, right? Just give. And we have a membership page, or we say members, but really we don't have a membership right now. It's just anyone that's given us any money goes on that page to get recognized. So it's like, hey, we know we are a collective. It's what's called the collective. We're a collective of people that are trying to make Arkansas better. So
Yeah, I like it. Well, Peyton, I really appreciate you reaching out to us and talking to us, and I'm glad to have given you a platform to talk a little bit about what you're doing. And man, I'm going to just say best of luck. We are going to commit to helping you, and we'll see where that goes and how that goes because our budget's not very great right now either. But we're going to make something happen for you for sure because while yes, I'm supposed to be a down the middle guy, and I can do that. I can tell people how it is. I have separated myself from feeling so much because maybe because of losses, maybe because I've gotten older. I'm not sure exactly how it is, but whatever it is, I have been able to separate my fandom from what's actually going on. But with that said, I am a fan. And I want to see the Razorbacks be good. I want to see my kids be as excited about the Razorbacks as I was as a kid in 88 and 89 when they won back to back Southwest Conference championships. And following up all the way into 1995 when they won the SEC West for the first time, and then in '98 when they won it again, and in '06 when they won it again, and just be excited about the Hogs, because you go to these schools, I coach Pee Wee football. And you don't see a lot of kids that are big time Razorback fans. You see, hey, I like LSU. I like Texas A&M. I like this. I like that. Man, when I was growing up, it was all Arkansas. That's all it was. There was nobody else. And so I want to see that happen for Arkansas. And, as a Razorback fan, as a Cowboy fan, as we've already established, I'm tired of sucking. I'm ready to win some games. Of course, I also know that I've watched Arkansas as I again in my 44 years as a middle-aged man, I've watched Arkansas hire the wrong guy after the wrong guy. But hopefully, having something in place, knowing that we will have some NIL, might attract the right guy, whether he be Bobby Petrino right now or somebody else. I hope that we have everything in place. And if I can do my part to help that, I'm willing to do it.
Well, thank you very much. And I mean, I hark on that all the time of what Arkansas used to be and how kids don't have that anymore. And it's like when you grew up and I grew up, we had a president, right? You could aspire to be Bill Clinton. Like he was the president of the United States and he's from Hope, Arkansas. You could aspire to be a country music artist because we had Johnny Cash. You could date Angelina Jolie or marry her because you're Billy Bob Thornton, right? And you could be the best entrepreneur in the world because you had Sam Walton and Bud Walton is like the whole Waltons, right? They did all of that, and
Right.
JB Hunts, the Tysons. I mean, we could go on, but it's like you look around, and it's been how long since even a really good or successful person's came out of Arkansas. We have Bobby Bones. He's doing his thing in Nashville. You got Austin Reeves in the NBA. You got a couple others, but like true Arkansans that are going out there and just killing it. It's less and less, and it's like at some point we're either going to have to reinvest in our state and get state pride back, or it's just going to go away. All these great people we mentioned are now in their 80s and 90s, and we're still 70s, but they ain't got much longer. How much longer those checks could keep rolling in? So we really got to invest and get a good foundation and system going. So, but
Yeah,
thank you
I
again for
agree.
letting me on the show.
Yeah, no problem. I hear the '94 guys, the '94 basketball team. They talk about all the time how they would like to see another team come and take their place because all we do now is we talk about '94. Well, '94 was 31 years ago, and then growing up, all I heard about was '64, and it was '64 to '94 before Arkansas won an actual major championship again. And so it's time for Arkansas to step up. Yes, we've had
Hello. 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 Uh, just wanted to let you know we appreciate you joining us here on the Audible, and we're excited to be bringing you a playoff preview. And if you got a chance to listen to the collective there, the Pigpen Collective, we appreciate him for joining us on the interview today. Anyway, appreciate you guys. We will talk to you soon, and we will see you tomorrow, not only for the playoff preview, but for the Audible. Thanks for joining us.